All right, so we're gonna break down the full body foam roll session. So I got 3 implements here. See, I got a lacrosse ball, I have a hard med ball, and then I just have your standard foam roller. Full body foam roll session. So this is something you can do on an off day, after a day of lifting, or before a day of lifting. So I'm actually gonna start here by kicking my shoes off. And we're gonna start from the ground up. So we're going to start with the feet, then we're going to start with the lacrosse ball here. So I'm going to come over to a wall, get this lacrosse ball, I'm going to roll out my feet. I'm going to spend about a minute on each foot. You know, I might not do it for this video, just to make the video nice and short, but you're going to spend about a minute on each foot here, rolling the entire foot, getting it right under the toes, getting across them. Grip the ball with the toes, open those toes up. Feel where you're tight, feel where it's stretching, putting some good pressure in this ball. Don't be shy, and put as much pressure as you can tolerate into this ball. Go across, go up and down, go every direction, and just roll out. You'll feel where you're tight, where you got those tight spots. So you're gonna roll out the bottom of that foot, get in the arch, on the outside of the foot, on the inside of the foot, get up on the heel. There's no really wrong way to do this. So loosening up the bottom of these feet can help loosen up the entire posterior chain. That's why we're starting down here at the feet. Got a really tight spot right here. So I'm gonna hold it here. I'm just gonna move my foot back and forth, take some deep breaths. Move right up the chain now, we're gonna hit the calves. So with the calves, I get the foam roller out. Now, because of this position, it's hard to get a ton of pressure, so we go one calf at a time and cross the leg. You're gonna bridge your butt up off the ground. You're gonna hit the entire length of the muscle. From right above the ankle to right below the knee. Make sure you hit the outside of that calf. That's usually gonna be the worst part. Hit the meat of it. All angles of it. Spend about 30 to 60 seconds, depending how tight it is. That one's not too bad for me. So go to the other side. This one's definitely worse. So I'll probably spend a little bit longer on this one. But you want to just take nice, deep, controlled breaths throughout this whole thing. Find some tight spots. Move the ankle around. Breathe through it. The outside, get the inside, get the middle, all over the place. Then from there, you can even hit the front of the shins. So you get the front of the shins here. So place that guy around the roller. Hit the same thing right above the knee, or right below the knee, sorry. Right below the knee to right above the ankle. Hit the meat of those guys. You can lean on more to one side, really hit the outer portion of that. Shin muscle there. It's called the anterior tibialis. Anterior tibs don't get a lot of love. They're important. So right from there, we're gonna keep working our way up now. Since we're right there, we're just gonna go right onto the quads. This is everybody's favorite muscle of foam roll here. So same thing with the quad as everything else. Hit the entire length of the muscle. Hit right above the knee to right below the hip. Now when it comes to the quads, you can hit the meat of them both like that, but I like to hit them one at a time. So I usually move the foam roller to the side and just focus. Let this other leg kind of drape off so I can really focus. Get the inside of that quad. Turning my foot out, if you can see that. Try to adjust that angle here. Kind of get the inside of that quad. You can start to rotate it in. Hit the middle of the quad. And then everybody's favorite, the outside of that quad. Now same thing, if you find a tight spot, hold on that spot. Take a deep breath through it, but then also introduce some movement. Hit that 15 to 20 seconds. Try to loosen that spot up. So you hit that quad. Do the same thing with the other quad. said, it all depends on how much time you got, how much time you want to do it. If you want to spend 30 to 45 minutes foam rolling, you could spend several minutes on each body part, each muscle. It's all dependent on how much time you want to devote to this. After the quads, I like to just go ahead and knock out these hip flexors. So it's almost like right where the top of your pocket would be. You have like a meaty part of your hip right here. And I like to put that right on the foam roller here. And just try to let that leg go limp and let that sink in and just kind of saw back and forth like this. I'll saw back and forth into that hip crease. Try to get in there the best I can. Bend the knee back and forth. Squeeze that glute to push that hip even further into the foam roller. And just saw back and forth. You can go up and down a little bit. Kind of hunt around for those tight spots. And do the same thing other side here. We hit that. We're gonna flip around. Now we're gonna hit the back part of the leg. It's somewhat difficult to foam roll your hamstrings because you gotta keep your legs straight and it's gonna kind of put them on tension a little bit. But you can still give them a good once over. It's better than nothing. So you can get the outsides, turn the toes out, get that high hamstring area. And then we're gonna roll right up onto the glutes. We're gonna roll the meat of both glutes out. But then same as everything else, we're gonna focus our attention more onto one. Let's get a couple general passes here. Then you're gonna move to one glute and hit the meat of that single glute there. Then you can cross the leg, pull that muscle out, stretch it out a little bit more. Let me finish with the glutes. Move it right on up to the back. So usually go from glutes, let's roll it on down. Now when we're rolling the back, you never want to roll lower than your rib cage. You're never going to roll the lower back. So right here, right about here is about as low as you're going to go. You never want to go lower than this. Your lower back has nothing to support it. You know, your middle and upper back has your rib cage to kind of help support it. But that lower back, there's nothing there except the spine. So you never really want to roll that lower back out. So we're going to start right here in the middle back. You saw back and forth, side to side. Go up and down a little bit. But here we're really going to just focus on introducing a lot of movement. So we extend over to that foam roller, come up, just kind of move it in every different direction you can think of. Add some rotations in there. Extend, flex, extend, rotate, flex. Saw back and forth, just hunt around and see what feels like it's doing something. Everybody's different. You'll know what feels good, what feels like you're making some changes, and then you're just going to slightly move up the back and do the same thing. So you move up about an inch or two, hit some flexion, extension, introduce some rotation. And we're just going to do this all the way up the back. Your back's going to crack, you're going to adjust yourself, it's going to feel good. Still controlling. Full breaths. Like I said, it's a little difficult for me because I'm talking so much, but you won't have to talk to anybody, so. Now notice too, I'm not cranking on my neck. I'm just supporting my neck. Just supporting, I'm not yanking up on it with my hands. Now we're kind of up on that upper back to where the shoulder blades are kind of getting in the way. So you just gotta hug yourself. You get to pull those shoulder blades out of the way a little bit. You can still focus on that back, that upper back. Go back and forth, you can cheek to one side, get behind those shoulder blades. I'm really tight back behind those shoulder blades. Got a lot of knots there. Had a big upper body workout yesterday. So this is feeling pretty tender. So right from the back though, right from that upper back, we're gonna go right to the lats. So now we're gonna go right under the armpit. Right under the armpit, to halfway down that rib cage. We're gonna hit the meat of this guy. This is super important. This is tight on a lot of people. And the lats are a secret internal rotator of the shoulder. A lot of people don't know that. So this can help improve that posture. If we can loosen up these lats a little bit, help keep those shoulders pain-free and healthy. So just gonna roll those lats out. Same thing, go back and forth. You can saw forward and back. Let's get in those tight spots. And now since we're dealing with the shoulder, we can really start to introduce a lot of movement with this too. Move that arm around. Move it in every direction you can think of. Wherever you can get some good stretching and pulling on that muscle. Sinking into there. We're gonna hit the same thing other side. Sink into that armpit, almost kind of get on the back of that shoulder. Back part of that shoulder where the crease of your armpit is. Move that arm around. You'll get some tight spots up in there for sure. So hit both of those guys. And now, the last thing we're gonna do with the foam roller is we're gonna roll out the biceps. So the biceps are another internal rotator. Just turning the arm in and out, keeping the arm pretty straight. Rolling that bicep, you can even turn it all the way up and get a little bit of that tricep too. That can be gummed up a lot of times. We'll hit both arms with that guy. Like I said, you spend anywhere from 30 to 60 seconds. Or if you have more time, you spend more time. And then the last part we got is we got this med ball. And I like to use a hard med ball to hit the pecs. So hitting the pecs is super important. For a lot of lifters, you know, the chest gets a lot of work, but for all of us that have to sit a lot and everything, those pecs can get really tight. So you just get the ball on there, and we just follow the same rules as everything else. We're gonna saw back and forth. You can hit circles with this one now since it's a ball. You can kind of go in circular motions, getting right on the sternum, right where the pec is on the sternum, up and down, get right under the collarbone, and then really introduce that movement. And move that arm in as much range of motion as you can. Feeling where those tight spots are and then moving that arm all over the place. Going back. Do reps of all angles like this. There's really no limitations to what you can do here. And just hunt around and see what kind of creates that separation. And again, we hit both sides with this. And there you have it. That's the full body foam roll session. You know, anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes or spend up to 30 minutes if you got it. But make sure you're breathing, make sure you're relaxing. Doing this before bed will actually help you sleep pretty good, as long as it's not super hot in here like it is today and I'm sweating my ass off. But that's it guys, full body foam roll session. Thanks for watching.